Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. It is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. We'll tell you more about what they do coming up later in the show. You can start your free 14-day trial now at aura.com/chatsports. Tyler Jones here with you. Hope you are having a great 4th of July. Coming up in just a moment, we will go over some USFL players to watch of targets that are now available with the USFL season wrapped up. But before we get to that, with Independence Day wrapping up, what did you do for the holiday weekend? Or what are you up to tonight? Let me know in the comment section. Very curious. Me, I'm working. Here we are on a holiday and still giving you Ravens coverage because no one else on the internet is going to do that. So with that, let me know what you're doing. If you're at work, if you're at home, you're with your loved ones, whatever it may be. Tell me how you're spending the 4th of July, and we'll get started with today's show. So let me say first off, before we get to the list, including KaVontae Turpin, the wide receiver from the Generals here, is that of the names we're looking at, there's a big gap between NFL players and USFL players, obviously. And so with that, we're not talking about guys that we're expected to just make the jump and be starters. We're talking about guys that are on the edge of making the 53-man roster. So let's start out with Turpin of the Generals. He was the MVP of the league this past season. Terrific. And he's been really good in years past. You go back to his time at TCU, he was a 2017 All-Big 12 performer. And this year he led the USFL in receiving yards with 540 total. Now, granted, that 540 mark, you have to factor in that the USFL only played 8 regular season games. So pretty solid numbers for that 8-game stretch for Turpin. Let's go ahead and get to the scouting report. This is from the Sporting News on Turpin. Turpin is a true playmaker and may be the best offensive weapon the Generals have. The 25-year-old was used in a variety of ways by New Jersey. Turpin, who was named the USFL MVP and an all-USFL return man, is a weapon with the ball in his hands and his potential as a gadget weapon and return man in the NFL. So, some nice praise there for Turpin. Let's get to the next guy on our list. It is Maurice Alexander, a wide receiver and kick returner for the Philadelphia Stars. The Philadelphia Stars last night lost in the championship game to the Birmingham Stallions. Great game, might I add. We'll tell you more about Alexander in just one moment, but before we get to that, our pin comment today, I want to know, are you guys interested at all in spring professional football? We've seen the USFL make it through the season, which many people thought was not possible. What was it? The Alliance of American Football got cut off halfway through the season. COVID kicked out the XFL a couple years ago. Now the XFL is trying to come back. We've seen the Spring League, all these other things. Look, I want to see spring pro football be successful. I like more football, okay? NFL Europe didn't last a whole lot either. Can one of these leagues just please work out? I like it. What about you guys? Do you want to see spring pro football work? Do you enjoy it? Is it entertaining? I enjoyed that game last night. Let me know in the comments section. Type Y for yes, type in for no if you like spring football. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. While the ad's playing, let me know one way or the other. Y for yes, in for no. All right, so here is the story on Maurice Alexander. He was also an all-USFL performer this past year. And not only is he a solid wide receiver, but also a kick and punt return specialist. Probably the best return man in all of the USFL. And he comes from a good family of football players. His cousins Sean and Nate Terry played at West Virginia, while his cousin James Terry played at Kansas State. Here's the scouting report on Alexander. Alexander averaged a league-high 35.5 yards per kick return and 12.6 yards per punt return. He has great vision and the quick cut ability needed to find open lanes. He will probably be given a chance to prove himself at the NFL level and may see the former FIU, Florida International quarterback, as a gadget-type player on offense too. So very versatile of Maurice Alexander, a do-it-all kind of guy, and that's what you're looking for, of those final roster spots to make the 53-man. Those athlete types, Alexander could be a good fit there. So I like what I hear there. How about this? DeMarquis Gates, a linebacker for the champion Birmingham Stallions. He is someone special, and I'll tell you about him in just a second. But before we get to that, today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. You know, it is a holiday, and when you're looking for gifts or things to protect your loved ones, why not Aura? They're going to protect up to 5 people within your family, whether it's shopping and banking and working online, or whether it's just protecting your credit card information. They do it all, and we're going to offer you a deal. Since you're watching Ravens Rundown today, here's what we will do for you. We will offer you a free 14-day trial if you sign up right now at aura.com/chatsports. You do that, you get a free 14-day trial. See if you like it. Now, you're going to like it. I mean, of course you are. Go ahead, sign up now, and I got to tell you, you're going to feel a lot different after you experience Aura and what it does for you. I mean, what are we talking about here? Protecting your identity and your cell phone, everything in between. It's a great deal. So go ahead and sign up now while you can. 14-day free trial, aura.com/chatsports, the all-in-one digital safety company for the whole family. So here's more on Gates. He was an all-USFL performer this past year with 62 tackles, and he led the USFL in tackles for loss, 11 total. And might I add you, he's got NFL experience too with the Cleveland Browns, the Washington football team, and the Minnesota Vikings. Granted, it was off-season and practice squad member experience, but nonetheless, he still put on the uniform. Here is what Sporting News had to say, the scouting report on Gates. He can play a variety of roles within a linebacking core and has solid size at 6'2", 221 pounds. His playmaking ability will get him a look this offseason. So, some kind words there on Gates. A lot of versatility. That's what you want to hear, and I like the measurements there, 6'2", 221 pounds. A couple more names to get to. Let's look at Shalom Luani, the safety for the Generals. Let's tell you about him. He was all USFL with 5 interceptions. He missed 2 games. And so in an 8-game regular season, do the math, that's 6 games. He had 5 picks. Pretty solid. And he has NFL experience. Not just a practice squad or off-season program guy. No, he's played in NFL games. Played for the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Chargers, as well as the Houston Texans. And he was pretty good in college, too, at Washington State. He was an all Pac-12 first-team performer there with the Cougars. We'll tell you more about him in just a moment. Before we do, make sure that you are subscribed to Ravens Rundown. Here we are. It's a holiday. I'm in my red, white. Actually, no white. Just red and blue, rather. But nonetheless, I am in the patriotic spirit today. I'm working on a holiday, bringing you Ravens content because we care. Because there is so much Ravens stuff that we have to talk about. Even on a holiday, we're doing it for you. So, subscribe now. You will regret it if you don't. Subscribe today, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment. So you'll be the first to know exactly what we're doing here, youtube.com/RavensTV. All right, so here is the update on Luani. He played throughout the 2022 USFL season, is a big part of the reason why the Generals lost just 1 game. He has been a do-it-all playmaker at safety and ranks 2nd in the league with 5 interceptions despite missing 2 games due to an injury. Luani made some big hits during the season, and given his previous experience as a backup safety and special teams ace, he should get a chance to compete for an NFL roster spot. So, how about that? Some excitement there about what he brings to the table with his previous NFL experience there. So, we will go over one more name before we go, and that is Channing Stribling, a cornerback for the Philadelphia Stars, and he was terrific this year. He led the USFL in interceptions, had 7 total interceptions in that 8-game stretch. Pretty solid. He's played in the NFL as an offseason and practice squad performer with the Cleveland Browns, the Indianapolis Colts, San Francisco 49ers, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Also played in the CFL 3 seasons there. So he has been a journeyman, whether it's the USFL or the CFL or in the league, just trying to compete. You have to respect the hustle that he's at least trying to commit everything to make this football career work one way or the other. Here's the report on him. Stribling has good instincts and great size at 6'2", 180 pounds, and he has been with 4 different NFL teams since going undrafted in 2017. Perhaps he will be able to stick around this time if his all-USFL level performance has sharpened his ball skills as much as the numbers indicate. And the numbers were pretty dang good. So, to recap, our 5 names that we gave you. KaVontae Turpin, wide receiver for the Generals. Maurice Alexander, wide receiver and kick returner for the Philadelphia Stars. DeMarquis Gates, linebacker for the Stallions. Shalom Luani, the safety for the Generals. And Channing Stribling, cornerback for the Stars. So, there you have it. Some names to throw out there. Again, not trying to find starters in the USFL, but borderline guys just to fill a final roster spot or 2 would be nice. Thanks for joining us here on this special 4th of July edition of Ravens Rundown. If you made it to the end of the show, time to flock, and we'll see you next time. America!